Today's Check Your Understanding on 5.3 is this. You and your friend decide to have a picnic over spring break underneath the Mini Trista water tower. When the picnic is over, you walk home straight north. Once you get home, you look up to the water tower at an angle of elevation. The distance from you to the top of the tower is 5,000 feet. To get home, your friend walks straight south. Once your friend gets home, she looks up at the top of the tower at an angle of elevation of 50 degrees. And the distance from her to the top of the tower is 2,758 feet. Part A here is sketch the picture of all the information and fill in the missing stuff that we can do. Now, to be drawn to scale, which it doesn't have to be, you would have this house here be my house, and this would be my friend's house. But as long as you do label things properly, it really doesn't matter how you do that. So ignore that there, sorry. Let's draw the scenario. So I'm going to be here, and I'm going to walk straight north, and I go home. And I get home, I raise my eyes, and I look at the top of the water tower. That's an angle of elevation of 25 degrees, and it was 5,000 feet from me to the top of the tower. Now recall, angle of elevation, if I'm standing here, to elevate means you raise. So when you raise up, this is the angle that gets created for angle of elevation. Now conversely, my friend walks home directly south this way, looks up at the water tower, and it's 50 degrees is that angle of elevation there. Their distance is 2,758 feet. Now, is there any information I could fill into this picture? Absolutely. And this is where you want to do that first, is once you feel like you have the photo or the scenario drawn out, can you fill in any missing info? We can easily figure out what this angle is right here. This is a triangle. A triangle is 180 degrees. I currently have 75. Therefore, I know this has to be a 105 degree measurement. Now, that's pretty much all we could do. Unless you do visualize this, I do want to highlight one thing. You could, if you wanted to, look at this as two right triangles. We're not going to. We're going to do it using law of cosines. But if you did this as two right triangles, this line would be straight down, this would be a right angle, and that would be a right angle. You can also then back into the two smaller angles here. Again, you could do that way. It would still work. If this was like on an exam, I would absolutely take that method. But for this one, let's just focus on doing it for law of cosine. So I'm going to actually get rid of that. Part B wants to know how far away are the two of us live from each other. So basically the question is, what is this complete side length? And I'm going to call that x. Okay. Having that information, I need to solve side length x. So I find its matching partner of that angle, and I can easily write law of cosines. So it's going to be x squared equals the 5,000 squared plus the 2758 squared. And then remember, it's minus 2 times those same two numbers of the 5,000 and the 2758, and it's times the cosine of that particular angle. So the key to law of cosines, recall, is whatever side I start with, I have to end with its corresponding angle at the end. Now this is just simplification. I can simplify this one of two ways. I could do these in pieces. So I could first find this value, the second value, and the third, or I could do one big string in my calculator. I'm going to show you if this was just broken down into the three components, so just a little bit more detail. This would end up being in 25 with 6 zeros. The next number squared is going to be 7,606,564. And then you have to be careful. This whole value ends up becoming negative in this case. The cosine of 105 is negative, times this positive, times this, and then times this, which is also ends up being negative. This will turn into a positive. Now, it doesn't always do that. In this case, it does. And when we do that, we're going to get 713,8,229. Now, if I add those three numbers together, what you're going to get, the total of those three is going to be 39744,793. We're almost done. All we have to do to wrap it up is to take the square root of the x, and when we do that, we will get the final answer that is going to give us that we are 6,304 feet from each other. And that is how you do this problem.